got the time and you want to work on that,
No, let's do it.
fine, but I'm flexible.
Let's do it this way.
Okay.
All right. So the idea is we're going to make a flyer, and I missed one thing when I logged in. So let's quickly find you. All of our gens. Did you now? If this is an area that you're going to be doing often, we ought to save it as a search. I don't think we did that, right?
Probably not.
So, and the way we would know if we save something as a search is if you go to Matrix, My Matrix, you go down to Save Searches, click on it, it shows what has been saved.
Okay.
There's a plus homes and active, so it's not, there's no save search.
Pretty old.
Right. So we're going to go to search and residential, and we could zoom in on that one particular area, but let's just start because we know there isn't a lot of volume. We're going to do active, contingent, pending, and sold condos, townhomes, and we're going to look for the zip code of 95117.
And you want to do it the last?
0 minus 30. Let's just see what happens. Okay. 0 minus 30 is 13 matches.
That's right. That's what it was yesterday.
So what we're going to do is click on results. And now that this comes up, if we click on all of that and we go to save, one of the things is to call a new save search. So we're going to save it, and we're going to call it 95117 condos, townhomes. And then under contacts, I'm glad you're there. And then we're going to just hit save. Now we could enable it as a favorite search on the dashboard, which means when we log in, it would be showing us stuff. It depends on how curious you are. Or you could just run it. So we're going to click on save. So now we have the search. Now the next thing we want to do is we click on actions. We go from saved, it only gives us these choices. But if we click on actions, it gives us more choices, and the one we want is export. Now we created that export called neighborhood update by clicking on, if we wanted to edit it, we click on edit, and you can't create a new one at this point, but you can edit one. So if there, for example, days on market was something we thought we didn't actually use, so I removed it. I removed it.
Yeah.
All right, and so I'm not going to cover how to do that, but this is the basic group, and we're going to click on save. And so now we click on export, and it's going to offer us some choices. Because I'm in Firefox, it lets me just open it. If it was Chrome, it would make me drop it and then open it. So what I usually do with this is I copy it, and I go to Microsoft Word, and what I want to do is, I just don't like the fact that there are some upper and some, like Blackford is all uppercase and Loma Verde is all uppercase, and I'm very lazy or efficient, depending on how you want to look at it. So what I did is I took the second choice under paste options, right? And that's a table choice, right? It makes a table. So I've just done that. And then if you hover up above that column in the table, it makes a little downward arrow sign.
Because we're in Word now.
We're in Word.
Not Excel.
That's correct. And then this little guy up here, if we click on it and capitalize each word, it's changed it all. Right? And so we're going to copy that. And then we're going to go back to Excel and paste it in. And so what it's done is notice it's replaced it, upper and lower. The default setting puts in all these lines, which we may or may not want. If we just choose the second choice, it puts it back to the way it looked when we began. Now the next step is to clean this up a little bit, and usually I click on the bold for the top row because it lets it know that this is a field headings, and then I just want to tighten it up a little. So we're going to just say street, we're going to get rid of total, we're going to get rid of full, we're going to get rid of total, age is fine, list price, close price, that's all good. I like to have the comma that separates the numbers but we don't need, so I'm clicking on those decimal points, and these, I would like it to be a $sign,
Right.
and then clicking on this gets rid of the decimals. That looks much nicer.
Yes, it does.
Now when I click on A, that's the status, and because I bolded this top row, Excel knows that these are field headings, so I go to Data and Sort A to Z, and what it's going to do is put them in alphabetical order, which is actives, pendings, and sold, which is the order I wanted in the first place.
Okay.
So now that we've gotten to this point, the next point is we need to make this an image that we could put in Excel. Now, there's a lot of ways of doing that. I could just right-click on this, and let me see, does it give me the choice? Probably not. I'm going to just copy, and I'm going to go back to our friend here, which is Microsoft Word, and I'm just getting rid of everything, and I'm pasting it in.
Okay.
Now, that's not what I really wanted to do. Let me go back here and then copy that and paste it in. Okay, now it doesn't look good because of that thing, but we're going to select that, and it makes a nice little chart. And I don't know how to do this for everything, but let me see, auto fit to window, and we're going to do that. So I clicked on this little guy up here, and I right clicked, and I went to auto fit. And so what that does is it auto fits it, right? So it's, I don't have to click on it and do all that. So the other thing that this will allow us to do now that we're in Word is we could pick all these fancy different layouts. So let's pick something a little colorful, right? Why not? So we're going to pick that. That's okay. Now we have this in Microsoft Word, and what we would like is to make this something that we could use as a picture. So what I've done is I've highlighted the table. I'm going to right click on it and see if it gives me the choice of doing it. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to PAINT, and I'm going to paste it in, and there it is. And this is, see, so that's, let me go back. So I'm going to paste it in. Now I might want to select, and I'm going to select rectangular. What I want to do, the problem we were having before was it wasn't, there's more white space than we wanted, so I hit crop, and I've created an image. That's the image. And we are now going to go to File, Save As, come back here, File, and there we go. And I know, I moved too fast. I'm going to put it someplace where I'm going to find this, and I'm going to call this Jennifer 95117 2-132015.
Okay.
And hit save. Now, by the way, if, you know, sometimes people watch me do these things and they say, well, there's no way I can do that. Right? I know I'm not.
Are you reading my mind?
Some people watch me do this, and what they do, because I record it, is they play the video and they stop it, right? So each time I do something, they stop it, they catch up.
Okay.
The other option you have is there's a place, if that's the right word, a website called Fiverr.
Called what?
Fiverr. Fiverr. Fiverr.com.
Okay.
And I misspelled Fiverr.com. I misspelled Fiverr, Fiverr.com. And the thing about Fiverr.com is that there are people that will do things for $5, right? Including make flyers, including if you said, I want you to convert. So how about this? I want somebody to convert Excel to picture, right? And what you're going to find is that there are people that have, here's a guy with 18 years of experience who says, I'll do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll do tasks in Excel, but you're going to find that this is a relatively simple thing for somebody to do who knows what they're doing.
What they're doing, yeah.
Right. And so for $5, you could find somebody that will take your Excel. You say, look, I want you to, here's my graph. Here's my Word document. I want you to make a nice looking chart from this Excel spreadsheet, and I want you to send it back to me as a picture, right?
Okay.
Nice looking chart from Excel spreadsheet, send it back to me as a picture. You're going to find people that do it for $5. Now,
for $5, I'd rather pay them, and ask
yes.
my husband, it would probably take him quite some time.
Right. And people, I've had some of the people that have Photoshop, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and Excel that have been trained to use it can do
Mm-hmm.
this in like in a minute.
Sure.
Right. And so I'm actually not,
once
and I'm not particularly skilled at this. Right. So
more skilled than I am, Mike.
But the people here are more skilled than that.
Sure.
And for $5, you get back something that's going to look better than what we just did. Right. But if you followed along and you're able to create a picture, we could go from there. Now, what I recommend that we do is we go to My Marketing and we go to the Create Marketing Materials. Now, there are a lot of different ways you could do this. In fact, on Fiverr,
mm-hmm.
you could tell somebody, here's my picture, here's my contact information, here's the logo I want, this is what I want, this is the words.
Mm-hmm.
Make me a flyer.
Make me look good.
Make me look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you just as an example, which is not, just so you can see what in the .com. This is a website I was working on for Kimberly Liao.
Mm-hmm.
That header up here, right, with her picture and all that,
mm-hmm.
that was done in Fiverr for $5.
Oh my.
And she picked out that house. I've had
mm-hmm.
people say, I don't like the house. She picked out the house. She wanted the logo like that. And basically I send them the picture of the house, the logo, her picture, contact information. And the next day I got that back as a picture.
Okay.
So you get the idea.
The idea.
Couldn't that be the bottom of a flyer?
Yeah.
Right. Or something like that.
Something. Oh, I
So
like
if
this.
you put together, here's my picture, here's my contact information, make me a flyer,
mm-hmm.
people will make you a flyer and they'll send it back to you. And they usually use a Photoshop to do it, which you may not have on your computer, but there's ways of getting around it.
I don't need to learn it either.
Right. For $5, how often are you going to be making this? But what I'm going to show you to do is how could
a couple times a month it's worth paying somebody else.
Yes, you can't make $200,000 a year doing $10 an hour work or $5.
Yeah.
Right. This isn't. These guys don't spend an hour, but you would spend an hour doing this.
Oh,
right.
More than that.
More than that.
More
and
than
so
that.
for $5. Let them do it. Now let's assume you're saying, well, I'm $5 is just too much. It's not in my budget. How could I make a flyer? Well, what we can do, we've already done one in My Save Designs, but the easiest thing to do is to just find a existing flyer. And you have access to more because you have Market Leader Pro, but you'll notice some of these have like elements above, but what we're really looking for is something with the contact information below in a way that you sort of like it. We don't need to worry about the fact that there's stuff above it. So let me just pick one.
So we're just looking at the design.
Just at the design. So here's something, it's called 2 Photo White. I'm just going to click on it, or even the red sidebar. Let's just click on this one, just as an example. So this is just a plain one, but really what we're doing is we want this stuff down here. And we click on Personalize, and let's see what it'll allow us to do. And it wants Silverlight, always wants to know that it's okay. So see these different elements? So we can't get rid of those lines easily, but we could if we really wanted to. So let's say we called the title.
Here's what you had yesterday.
Are you a nosy NEIGHBOI? Are you a nosy neighbor? And then we're going to make it a little smaller. So, are you a nosy neighbor? Right. I've used the "Are you a nosy neighbor?" and look what your neighbors have been up to. And I've heard other people do that successfully. Now the thing about this, see this little and we have to move it around. The thing about this is it allows you to do some of this without buying any software, without even paying $5. So we're going to say market activity condos / town homes 95117, and I think I'm going to put here 30-day market activity.
Okay.
And we could even call it report. And so we just scooch it down a little bit. It's at 18, we make it 16. 30-day market activity report, condos and townhomes. Now, what I'm going to do is I could just get rid of stuff, right? Just get rid of these different elements and just get rid of it. Now, you see there's some, people might say, well, there's boxes there. I don't want boxes there. Well, we can make those boxes go away. So, but what we want to do is I would look at the name, and do you still have the information for the flyer handbill permit?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make your name, and I know you like the word realtor, but for now I'm going to get rid of that because we already have the realtor symbol, and what I want to do is make your name bigger, right? So I made your name bigger. I want to make your phone number bigger. So, and we put that there, and then the handbill permit
is coming up.
So I could find the one I sent you.
There it is.
All right, let me do this. So I'm going to just find it.
So you can copy and paste it.
San Jose HB permit, and see, this is, so when you join the office, this was included somewhere. Now, it's possible for us to put that as one of the fields in your profile so that it automatically appears on everything you do.
That makes sense.
Which, for a cookie, I'll show you how to do that.
Would I want to do that for open house flyers too?
Well, you wouldn't. It doesn't. It doesn't hurt to have it.
True.
And it doesn't hurt to have it. And so.
Okay. Good idea.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just taking this and copying it. Now, what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to paste it in someplace. So I'm going to go up to add a text box and add the text box, and I'm going to paste that in. And so here's our little handbill permit. And before we're done, I'll show you how to put that in your someplace where we don't have to make it a big deal, but we just want it someplace there. Okay. So we've done that. Now what we want to do is put in that graphic that and so we go to add an image, and we browse, look for.
Can you backtrack real quick?
Sure.
Okay, to go back to where you said we're going to add an image.
All right, so we go over here to add.
Okay.
Most of the stuff is done in this one particular thing. Add an image, add a text box, add a map. eEdge.
Okay.
So we're going to do add an image and browse. Sometimes it finds it right away, and here's your image. And so this is what it looks like. And we just make it bigger. All right, so here it is. Here's our image. Now, and we can move it up like that. And now there are these two lines down there, which we could either make go away or put something else there. All right. And so a way to do that would be, let's say we want to block. First of all, we could just think of something we could write that would fit between the lines. And, you know, but if we wanted to make it go away, people often ask me, how do I make things go away? We go over to add again, and we add a rectangle. And so it's adding this rectangle. And by the way, when we do the thing, the add an image, it puts like a generic image. We just need to let it go. And we've added a rectangle, and we're moving it down here. And what we're going to do with the rectangle is we're going to make it bigger, right? Make it go across here.
Okay.
Now, I could, at this point, change the background color to white. And what it's done is it's just made everything go away.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that is that there? Let me see. Maybe that's something there. I don't know why it's there. Okay. So we've made it go away. See, isn't that nice?
That's nice.
So what we could do now is add a call to action.
Right.
And the best one, we'd go here to add an image, and we could, I didn't want to do an image. So I want to go to add a text box.
Yes.
Notice I'm doing almost everything from that one.
I know.
Right. I mean,
one area.
right. And so with a little bit of practice, so standard one would be find out. Now I'm going to make it bigger because I'm old. Find out what, how about this? Are you curious? We could say about your home's value, or just say, are you curious?
Mm-hmm.
Want to know what your home is worth in today's changing market?
Okay.
And then we could leave it that way for now, because
Mm-hmm.
we still have room to do something else. And I usually would make it go center and then maybe make it bold. And if we wanted to, we could change the color. So we could make the color from here. And I don't know about staying with the orange, but you know, what does that look like? I don't know. It's kind of orangey.
Yeah.
So we could, and this is the kind of thing where you could spend a lot of time.
That looks good.
Right, is worth in today's market. And so what we're going to do is add one more piece to this, which is another text box. And we're going to drag this down here and drag it down here. And we're going to say, call me today for a free home HOME. We'll make it property valuation.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in your phone number again, 772-3091.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've done all that, and I highlight it, and then we center it, and we might want to make it bold. Arial black is a big thing, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And for a free property valuation, I think I would make your phone number bigger. My idea for doing these things is that you should be able to hold it up and somebody across the room would be able to figure out what it says.
Yeah.
Now, your email address is something we might want to talk about at some point. That's a really long email address.
Yeah, I'd rather use the other one.
Which is?
JenniferHopkins@kw.com.
All right, and we can change that too.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, PKINS@kw.com, because I'm going to highlight that, make it bold, and make it bigger. All right.
Okay.
And I want your name to stand out and your phone number to stand out and your email to stand out. Now, this little box here, one of the things that I kind of like to do sometimes, I don't know how well this is going to work, is I want it to be reversed out. So what I'm going to do is add a rectangle.
Okay.
And I'm going to drag it down, and what I'm going to do is drag the rectangle so that it covers it. And then I'm going to start by moving it over to the side, and I'm going to change the color of this font to white. And then I'm moving this back, and this layer up and layer down arranges it. So I'm layering down, and you see what happens now is the text shows up. And so that if you don't like black, which some people don't like too much black, I'm going to go over here and change it to maybe red, and then we do the layer down, and so you've got a big red box that says coming today for a free property valuation.
That looks good. You added some much needed color.
Right. And so we've got, are you a nosy neighbor? 30-day market activity report, condos, townhomes, 95117. There's a list of what's happened. We didn't put a date on it or anything like that. This I might just scooch up a little bit. And this thing, we need to move them both if we move them around. So this program is okay for making a flyer.
Sure.
And what it does is you don't have to learn. I mean, I don't know. This isn't that difficult, I think. So we're going to go to Save As, File Save As.
Okay.
And we'll call this, I usually start with the date, 2/13/2015. And we're going to call this Farm Fire 95117. Right. And we're going to just click on Save. You could rename it if you don't like that. But I like to put the date in the thing so that later I'm not wondering, well, when did I do this?
Good.
Right now.
That looks great.
And it's not.
Now, under the fiber one, would there be a way when I want to do this again to give them a sample of this? Okay. Make everything look like this, and here's my chart.
Yes, you could give them one of these. What I would suggest, however, is that, see, I don't have a background in design, layout, or anything like that. And the people on Fiverr usually do.
Okay.
So one of the things you could do is just give them the elements and say, make me a flyer.
Okay.
Because I'm willing to bet that they would make a better flyer than I would make. But that's what it looks like now.
That looks good.
Right. Now, what we could do to it is we're going to go, so they'll print it for 25 cents a piece, which
who will?
It's a company that's affiliated with Keller Williams.
With eEdge.
Yes.
Okay.
But we also could just download it. That's a slightly more expensive than the ones here. We're going to download it. Our color copies are really fairly good because I was at, when I was at Family Reunion, I was talking Office Max, Office Depot, whatever they're called now. I got a card, you get a discount, and black and white copies at Office Max with the discount card are 2.5 cents each.
I thought it was around 3 because that's what I used to pay with AT&T.
Right.
But I don't remember what they charged me for color.
The color is more expensive than ours. It was more expensive than ours.
Really?
Right. It was closer to 30 cents each.
Oh.
So we beat them on color.
Yes.
They beat us on
black and white.
Black and white. Now, what should be happening someplace?
No, I thought our fee here was 23 or 24 cents a copy.
Right. Whatever it is, I noticed that they were higher. It was higher. Now, all right, so that's what it looks like now.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you a copy.
Right.
Now, one of the things we can do while we're in here is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to admin in my account. And what we're going to do is go down here to edit. And this is where that really long external email is. Yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick the other one.
Let's change that.
Now, what I'm not seeing is a place to put in, for example, the call to action, clients first, call me for any of your real estate needs. Additional information, this goes onto a website. I don't see a way to easily put it on. Let me look at our flyer. So down at the bottom of the flyer, down at the bottom is so I'm just zooming in to see what's at the bottom. So this part down here, each office independently owned and operated and all that, we could put the San Jose Municipal Code handbill permit number there. Right, so it would just be at the end of it. I don't know if there's a particular requirement as to how big it's supposed to be. This information showing on all prior to this, you can access their site. So what we could do with that is we take this, and I'm going to make it, I'm not sure this makes a difference, but HB and build number, and we're just going to copy that, and then we're going to go into your site, and so let me just look at it. Copyright Keller Williams. Okay, so that's a branded disclaimer. So right here is the branded disclaimer, and if we just drag that, what we can do is paste that in there.
Good.
And so it puts it on everything.
I like that.
But so what,
Yeah.
right? And then we've saved it, and we now have the email, and everything should be fine. All right.
So we don't want to swap.
This is the mark. No, we can't do anything with this one.
Okay.
But we can do that one. Says marketing email.
Okay.
All right. So we made a flyer, and
you certainly did.
And you can now print it. Isn't that fun?
That is. Now, question, and this might be too complicated. If I found a picture of a condo community